Today, we're talking about one of the sweetest and most intriguing little moments from the promotion of the new Japanese film I Can't Cry at Your Face, or in original title, Kimi no Kao de wa Nakenai, that just hit theaters a few days ago on November 14th, 2025. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, pause this video real quick because this movie looks absolutely heartbreaking in the best possible way. It's a body swap story, but not like the fun teenage comedies we're used to. This one spans 15 whole years and stars the incredibly talented Kyoko Yoshine and King and Prince's Kaito Takahashi in their first ever collaboration. And during one of the press interviews, Kyoko dropped this super interesting description of Kaito that has fans buzzing everywhere. She straight up called him a mysterious person and said he has an animalistic sense in a good way. And I have been thinking about that phrasing nonstop because it's such a unique way to compliment a co-star, especially when you're playing characters who literally live inside each other's bodies for over a decade. First, let's set the stage a little bit for anyone who hasn't caught up with the movie yet. The story follows two high school freshmen, Riku, played originally by Kaito Takahashi, and Manami, played by Kyoko Yoshine. But after a freak accident where they both fall into a pool at the same time, they wake up in each other's bodies. And here's the twist that makes this different from something like Your Name or Freaky Friday: they never switch back, at least not right away. The film jumps through time, showing how they navigate college, jobs, relationships, even parenthood, all while trapped in the wrong body. And 15 years later, as 30-year-olds, they're finally faced with the possibility of returning to their original selves. But by that point, have they become so accustomed to their new lives that going back feels impossible? It's this deep exploration of identity, sacrifice, and what it really means to live authentically. And both leads are getting massive praise for how convincingly they play the opposite gender, especially Kaito, who has to embody this bright, popular girl Manami while she's inside the shy boy Riku's body, and Kyoko doing the reverse with so much quiet strength. So where does this animalistic comment come from? It happened during a joint magazine interview/roundtable that was published right before the premiere. The interviewer asked Kyoko what her first impression of working with Kaito was, since he's an idol-turned-actor and she's been in the industry since she was a teenager with all these heavy, dramatic roles. And without hesitating, Kyoko smiled and said something along the lines of, "He's a very mysterious person, like you can never fully read what's going on inside his head, but in a fascinating way that keeps you drawn in." And then she added that he has this animalistic sense in a good way, meaning he moves and reacts so instinctively, almost like he relies on pure intuition rather than overthinking everything. And she said that made acting opposite him feel incredibly natural because his responses were never forced or calculated. They just flowed. I think what makes this compliment land so hard is how perfectly it fits the character Kaito is playing. Because in the movie, Manami, the girl whose consciousness is inside Riku's male body, is described as someone who's always been a bit wild at heart, very direct with her emotions. She doesn't hide how she feels, and she charges forward even when life gets complicated. And Kaito brings that energy through even though he's technically playing a guy on the outside. There's this raw, untamed quality to his performance that reviewers are calling magnetic. Like he doesn't act the emotions, he just becomes them. And Kyoko noticing that animalistic sense probably comes from all those scenes where they had to improvise reactions to the absurdity of their situation. Imagine trying to film a scene where you're crying because you miss your original body, but you have to do it in someone else's face, and your co-star just instinctively knows how to mirror that pain without saying a word. That kind of chemistry doesn't come from rehearsal alone. It comes from that pure gut-level acting. And the mysterious part? Oh man, that's classic Kaito Takahashi, isn't it? Even as part of King and Prince, he's always been the member who feels a little enigmatic. He doesn't overshare on social media. His expressions on stage can shift from playful to intensely serious in a second, and fans have always said he has this cat-like aura. Very observant, a bit aloof, but incredibly affectionate once you trust you. So when Kyoko calls him mysterious, I bet she's talking about how on set, he would sometimes just quietly watch everyone, taking everything in, and then suddenly deliver a take that blows everyone away because he absorbed all these tiny details no one else noticed. It's that blend of quiet observation and sudden explosive instinct that she means by animalistic in a good way, like a panther or a wolf. Beautiful, a little dangerous in how captivating it is, but ultimately on your side. What's really sweet is how Kaito reacted when the interviewer asked him about Kyoko's impression. He got all shy and laughed it off, saying something like, "I'm happy if I seemed cool, but I'm actually just winging it most of the time." Which honestly just proves her point even more, because that humility mixed with raw talent is exactly why people can't look away from him on screen. And for Kyoko, who's known for these super introspective, emotionally layered roles, having a co-star who operates on instinct probably felt refreshing. Like she could let go and trust that the scene would land organically instead of having to carry everything herself. Looking at their overall chemistry in the trailers and the released clips, you can totally see what she means. There's this push and pull between them that's almost primal. Even though the story is so heavy and melancholy, their interactions have this lively spark, like two animals circling each other, trying to figure out if they're friends or rivals, but ultimately protecting each other. And because they've spent 15 years in the story pretending to be each other, there's all these layers of intimacy that feel earned. The way Kaito as Manami looks at Kyoko as Riku when they're finally adults and talking about whether they even want to switch back, there's this softness mixed with wild desperation that feels real. And I have no doubt Kyoko's comment comes from experiencing that intensity up close for months during filming. Fans on social media are losing it over this quote because it feels like such an intimate glimpse into their dynamic. Some people are joking that Kyoko basically called him sexy in the most Japanese way possible without saying the word sexy, because animalistic sense, in a good way, is basically code for he has this raw, attractive energy that you can't teach. And others are saying it explains why their body swap performances feel so authentic, because Kaito isn't trying to act feminine, he's just letting his instincts guide him, and that creates something uniquely captivating. At the end of the day, this little interview moment has made me even more excited to watch the full movie, because if the off-screen respect and fascination is this deep, imagine how powerful it's going to be when they're literally sharing one life on screen. If you're a fan of emotional Japanese cinema or just love seeing idols step into serious acting roles and absolutely crush it, you need to check out I Can't Cry at Your Face. It's the kind of film that stays with you long after the credits roll. And who knows, maybe we'll get more stories from these two about each other as the press tour continues. But for now, Kyoko's mysterious animal comment is the perfect teaser for why this pairing feels so special. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, subscribe for more Japanese entertainment deep dives, and let me know in the comments. Have you seen the movie yet? And did Kaito's performance give you animalistic vibes too? See you in the next one. Bye!